Okay, this evening I'm here with Alan Codneys. He's a firefighter here at Tukwila, and I'm really grateful to him that he is a little uncomfortable with this request, but I think he'll do just fine in this interview process as he's will be entering into retirement soon. He has been with Tukwila Fire Department for 35 years, which is phenomenal, and he has a lot of respect. Folks here at Tukwila Fire Department absolutely have a lot of respect for Alan. He brings so much, not only to the emergency scene with his vast knowledge and expertise in his craft, but just around the firehouse and that chat around the beanery table that we all seem to enjoy. So at this time, Alan, I'm going to ask you a few questions. It's just going to be an interview, 10, 15 minutes, however long you'd like to talk. So
Okay.
I'll ask you a number of questions. First of all, Alan, tell us about your career path.
Well, I actually came into the fire service not knowing anything about it. It was something that I fell into by chance. I had moved up here after spending some time in the Navy and working at a nuclear plant in Texas. I moved to Washington, worked for a company for a couple of years up in Bellevue, and I just got tired of the typical corporate stuff and started thinking, I got to find something else to do. And I was just looking through the paper and I saw an advertisement in the want ads for firefighter. And so I thought, you don't have to be all that smart to be a firefighter or anything. I could probably do that. So I went ahead and filled out an application, took test, happened to be Tukwila's test. So I was kind of a anomaly because I got hired off the first place I tested ever. And no volunteer experience, no prior experience other than very little in the Navy, what everybody goes through in boot camp and everything. But other than that, it was just pure dumb luck that I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And it's been a job that I have truly, truly loved. And I wish I had done it years prior to going in the Navy and everything. I'd had a lot more fun, I think.
Oh, that's pretty amazing starting a fire service. So what are your best memories here at Tukwila Fire?
I don't have any specific memories as far as calls or anything that I would consider best, but my fondest memories would be working with some of the guys that I've been with in the past 35 years. Some of them already gone, like Marty Roberts. But probably the most fun I ever had and the most enjoyable time was when I was working on Ladder 54 with Marty Roberts, Jim Brooks, Brian Willis, Dan McCone, Rich Reese was there for a while, Don Tomaso was there for a while, Bill Rodall, and we just had so much fun. We got along great as a crew. We went, did our job. We never had any animosity or disagreements between us. We had so much fun. I truly, truly looked forward to coming to work every day because I knew that it was going to be an interesting day and you never knew what was going to happen, but I knew that I was going to enjoy time with guys that I really, really enjoyed spending a lot of time with. And we got to be very good friends. All of our wives got to know each other and everything, and we would on occasion get together for birthday parties, graduations, or just in general go out to dinner. And that was the best part of the whole career, was just some of the great friendships that I've made over the years.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So what advice would you give to someone that is looking at getting into the fire service, or someone that just walks in the door and it's their first day? They've graduated the academy and they're walking in their first day. What do you tell these folks?
Pay attention to people that have been here before you. Listen and try to absorb as much information as you can. Make sure that you learn every opportunity you have. Get your hands dirty, go out, go over the equipment, but every day try to learn something new. Don't assume that you know everything, and make an effort to be the first one to jump in and do something, and show up to work. Don't look at it as a part-time job. Take advantage of all the opportunities you have to better yourself, learn your trade, and you don't have to necessarily be officer. I'd never taken a test, and I'm content with what I'd done in my career. I love being a driver and doing the work, but I also feel that it was important for me to show up to work when I'm able. As everybody knows, I don't call in sick just because I don't feel like being to work or whatever. That I feel like if I'm able, I get paid to be here, and so I do. So make an effort to do your job to the best of your ability, and just make sure that you show up when you need to, and don't look at it as a paycheck and a part-time job and you're just gonna go in whenever and do the thing that you want to do. It's a lot of fun. It's really a fulfilling career, but you have to put in some effort, and don't let something lay that needs to be taken care of. You see something laying on the ground that needs to be picked up, put in the trash, put away, whatever, do it. People that know me, I still, as you saw when you were coming here, I was taking out the trash. I'm the senior guy in the department, and yet I still clean up the station at the end of the day and everything, because it's not beneath me. So do whatever it takes, and nothing is beneath anybody in this department.
Great advice. Great advice. So next question is this job for everyone?
Oh, absolutely not. You have to be able to get along with people. You have to have empathy and compassion, because admittedly there are times when you go on calls and you're dealing with people who are disagreeable, obnoxious, downright belligerent, but you have to understand that their situation may be not what you think it is, and that they may be having one of the worst days of their lives, and you have to understand that. But if you can't be empathetic or feel like you can do that, then it's not a job for you. Also, my son, for instance, said he didn't think he could ever be a firefighter because he doesn't like the sight of blood. So there's people like that. And you have to be willing to work hard. And you have to be able to get along with your coworkers. You don't want to be somebody who disagrees with everything, or you're just always in a bad mood. It makes it very difficult. And some people don't like the work schedule. So, you know, the fact now that we're on a 4896, some people don't like being gone to work for 48 hours. Some people don't like the fact that they have to get up in the middle of the night. It screws up their sleep schedule. So there's a lot of various reasons that the job isn't for everyone. Physically, it can be very demanding. It can be stressful, getting up in the middle of the night multiple times in the middle of the night for what may be considered insignificant or ridiculous calls. But if you don't like that, then it might not be the job for you.
Yeah, good perspective there on that. So what does retirement hold for you, Alan?
I actually have no clue. I really do not know what I'm going to do when I retire. Take it easy, for one thing. You know, no clue if I'm going to stay in the area, move away. Most likely stay in the area, but, you know, maybe find a new house. I've been in the same place for 32 years. I really want to... I've been kind of thinking about volunteering at Mary Bridge Children's Hospital. Checking into it anyway to see about possibly volunteer for people that need to be away from their child that's in the hospital, and maybe the child is a preemie or something that just needs to be held or fed, or, you know. So I'm looking at something like that, some volunteer work. For me, retirement is no work, and I'm not going to do a part-time job or anything like that, because that's not retirement. That's just working somewhere else. So other than some volunteer work, I don't really have any real plans. I would like to do some traveling. I don't know specifically where, but there's a lot of places in the United States I haven't even seen, mostly the Northeast. But I'd like to maybe do some traveling in the United States, maybe a little out of the country, but not anything specific. But I'm just ready to relax and take it easy and actually maybe get a full night's sleep without, because even when I'm off duty, knowing that I'm coming to work the next day, without fail, I wake up at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning thinking, I got to go to work. And as anybody knows, I'm usually at the station somewhere between 4:30 in the morning, well before I need to be here, but it's because I wake up. And so hopefully in retirement, I can actually sleep all night long and not stress about getting up to go to work.
That is beautiful. That's common. That's a common response. I just talked to Captain Edwards, and he had the same basic story.
Yeah.
He's really looking forward to getting into a good sleep pattern.
Yeah, but I will admit I'm a little concerned that the first time I wake up and I realize my shift is working today, why am I not there? And it's like, I guess I wasn't that important. I don't need to be there anymore. So
true. So the last question that I have for you is, as you know, we've been working on this contract for service, a consolidation with Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority. It's been in the works really since the 1970s.
yeah,
So I talked to Chief Crawley,
Hubert,
Hubert, and he showed me a newspaper article that he was in, where the chiefs from Renton and Tukwila and Kent and Auburn all were talking about consolidation back in the 1970s and what that would mean and how. I mean, the article went into a lot of detail.
I didn't know that.
Regardless, and I'll share that with you. I'll send it out to everyone, perhaps with this video, because it's really interesting. From I think 1977, has pictures of all of them and concerns and the positive things. That has been taking place in this region. It obviously didn't happen in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, but definitely as we turned the century mark, things got cooking.
Yeah.
The legislature, the legislative body made some movements to make that happen, and so it's taking place. Tukwila becoming part of Puget Sound. What does that mean to you, and what's your perspective on that?
Oh, I think it's absolutely a good thing. From the city's perspective, I think it frees up their budget because hopefully after they do the contract for a couple, 3 years, however long, and they see that it is workable, that they will do an annexation where the citizens can vote, and then it frees up the city's budget because taxes will take care of the finances for the fire department. But also, I think we work so closely with Renton and Kent and Burien, North Highline, that we're always mutual aid every day. There's some kind of mutual aid that we're kind of sort of one big department anyway, because you see familiar faces all the time. We train together at the consortium. And I think that it's just natural that since we work so closely together that we just become one large unit. And I don't see really any downsides. I know there's some talk about, going 4 platoon or a different schedule, but that's minor stuff. I think the fact that you have a lot more resources, and when you broaden your base, you have better opportunities. There's more opportunities for the employees to, if you don't necessarily want to be a captain, you can be an engineer and be content like I've been. You can go into logistics, you can go into prevention. There's all kinds of different positions. But I think that it gives you a lot more opportunity for better ideas also. When you have a lot more people thinking about problems that we encounter or things, and just making everything uniform, because once we are part of that, eventually all of our apparatus are going to be outfitted exactly like theirs. So regardless of if you're on what would have been an old mutual aid call, but it's obviously it'd be the same department, somebody'd ask you to get a piece of equipment off of an apparatus, and you'd kind of go, well, I hope I can find it. But there'd be uniformity in all the apparatus, and it just seems to me it's a natural progression for all of the smaller departments to get into a bigger one, because we share the medics. It's kind of the same thing. We all have the same kind of calls, and we spend so much time mutual aid that it just, to me, it makes sense for us all to pool our resources, as it were, and just make one big department that actually would give a lot better coverage, I think, to the citizens, because all of your alarms are going to have more apparatus available, hopefully. I know mutual aid covers that for the most part, but I think it gets everybody on the same page, the same training like we do in the consortium, but everybody will be identical what it comes down to. So regardless of if we're responding over to Burien or Kent or wherever, you can expect to see the same type of apparatus and the same people. So I think it's a good thing. I really do. I don't see any negatives to it at all.
Well, thank you. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me this evening and sharing your thoughts and your perspective with our folks here at Tukwila Fire, soon to be part of Puget Sound.
Yeah, I have a little mixed feelings that I might be missing out a little bit, but I'm ready. It's kind of a melancholy that I won't be part of this bigger organization and I'll be missing out, but it's time.
35 years, that's a lot of years to put in.
And it's gone so fast. I swear if somebody asked me, it seems like it's been 5 years,
so
not 35.
What was your start date?
December 16th, 1987.
Wow, that is incredible. Well, Alan, from me to you, thank you very much for sharing this evening.
You're welcome.
A lot of respect for who you are, and from me personally, you're one of the most intelligent people in this business, not just here
Thank
in
you.
Tukwila. I've been able to rub shoulders with a lot of fire personnel and professionals across the country, and just very impressed with who you are and what you have brought to this department and to the fire service in general. So thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I feel like I was just rambling on.
You did awesome.
Oh, we got to leave in about 15 minutes.